Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for June 20th, 2019 to order at 8:01 p.m. On roll call, council members Balistrary.
Here.
Dombrowski.
Here.
Fasolo.
Here.
Ingui. Here. Wetchler.
Here.
Council President Pellegrin.
Here.
Mayor Golombek.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Can everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute?
O God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey requires at the commencement of every meeting that a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met by publishing a special meeting notice in the Record and Herald News and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 7th, 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who will watch this at home, our camera setup is a little different tonight. You'll see a different angle. We apologize. We'll have the normal setup at next month's meeting. We had some technical difficulties with the vendor. Madam Clerk?
Under the approval of minutes this evening, we have the March 7, 2019 work session meeting, March 7, 2019 executive session meeting, March 14, 2019 work and executive session meetings, and the April 4th special meeting.
May I have a motion to accept these minutes?
So moved.
Ingui?
Second.
Pellegrin? Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Ms. Delaney, I approve all except for March 14th. I have to recuse. I was not here.
Fasolo.
Recuse.
Ingui.
Yes.
Wetchler.
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor will continue on with ordinances, beginning with those that we will introduce on first reading, starting with Resolution R-216-19. Reintroduce ordinance number 19-10 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough, more specifically, Chapter 7, entitled Traffic, Section 7-23, Turn Prohibitions, be passed and adopted in first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, July 18, 2019 at 8 p.m., or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Second.
Wetchler, Pellegrin, is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Wetchler. Yes. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-217-19, introduced ordinance number 19-13 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled An Ordinance to Amend Chapter 28 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Flood Damage Prevention be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, July 18, 2019 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it resolved that the acting borough clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
So moved. Second.
Balistrary, Dombrowski. Any discussion? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a ordinance that the state has required, the DEP has required, so every community in the state of New Jersey is putting together this floodplain ordinance. Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Wetchler. Yes. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances being read on second reading. Resolution R-218-19, introduced ordinance number 19-11 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Acquisition of a New Aerial Tower, Fire Truck, and a New Mini Pumper Fire Engine, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,740,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 16th, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the ordinance entitled Bond Ordinance to Authorize the Acquisition of a New Aerial Tower, Fire Truck, and a New Mini Pumper Fire Engine, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Elmwood Park in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $1,740,000 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds, to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds, pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open it to the public?
Second.
Wetchler, Dombrowski, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone in the audience like to speak on this second reading of this ordinance? Please come up, state your name for the record.
Mr. Freitag, you'll have to hold down the button until it turns green for it to be on.
Right here. Right here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
No.
Okay. Power's off.
It's a wireless mic.
I'll speak loud.
Yes.
Thank you. I still have to hold on.
All right, we hear you.
No, you're good.
You can
Sorry
hear me.
about that, we hear you.
Okay. My question. This amount, this is the purchase of 2 different items, correct? If at some point there was a decision, like tonight, to purchase only one, can that be done as the second reading and eliminating the one purchase and changing the amount on the bond? In other words, if it went down to 1.3 million.
Generally, I would say that you need 2 readings of a consistent ordinance, so I think that would pose that challenge, but I don't want to speak too firmly on that. I don't know if the attorney has anything to add.
I'm not sure of what your point is.
Okay, my point is this.
If just because the money's there does not mean that you need to spend the money. So even though the bond ordinance is for the $1,740,000, if they decide to not get the other equipment, it has no effect on this ordinance and does not need to be reintroduced. Is that the
There you go.
question?
The amount contains these 2 items.
Right. If we were to
One
put,
item, if a decision, excuse me?
go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay, if a decision is made not to purchase or not to purchase one, it just exists that way, and then the money, it's a bond anticipation note that's sold, correct? Correct. So at that point, then, there would be an adjustment? Would there need to be a new ordinance?
No.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Is this working?
Yes.
No? Yeah. Ken Preston, 123 Hamilton Ave, Elmwood Park. Been a volunteer fireman for the department for 45 years, ex-chief of the department, and I just want to make a little mention to the council about the mini pumper that's in this ordinance. This has not been presented to the department as a whole. All right? It just seemed to be slipped by the entire department, and a lot of the members, including assistant chief, battalion chief, and a lot of the line officers, are not in agreement with this purchase. So I don't want to hold up the ladder truck purchase, but I think more discussion needs to be done on the part of the fire department before this purchase is made.
Can I ask you a question? Did you
Yes.
bring this up to the fire chief?
Uh, We invited the chief to our company meeting, and the fire chief said he would have a meeting before this council meeting. It was not
Is he
done.
Okay.
asking for this piece of equipment as the fire chief?
Is he? Yes.
Is he not the spokesman for the department?
Yes, he is.
I think that needs to be taken up with him by the membership of the fire department, not with the mayor and council. He's your
I
he's your
understand.
leader.
I understand, but
You're
it-
undermining his authority
the
by
membership,
saying that the membership is not for this. He's the head of the
the
agency.
membership was not, it wasn't brought up
I'm
to
not
the
sure that he
membership.
needs to consult with the membership if he's the fire chief.
Okay, that's,
If I may,
Just my opinion as a police chief. I don't consult with my
I-
guys on every purchase I make, right? And I would be offended if my guys undermine me to come, excuse me, if they came over my head and undermined a purchase that I was making. So I'm
the,
not
the,
following
the
this.
only problem is the membership was not notified.
okay. If I may add to this, Mr. Pressler, first of all, thank you for coming up and speaking on this. It disheartens me to know that the fire department as a whole was not brought into this. I can honestly tell you that that myself, this mayor, and many of our council members received this in November of 2017. And it's been in discussion since November 2017. So for there not to be a departmental discussion on this since November 2017, it does bother me a bit. However, I understand your concerns. My suggestion to this mayor and council, and it's only my suggestion, and this is how I will be voting tonight, I will approve this ordinance. However, we should not make a purchase order for the pumper until the chiefs have a chance to work this out. I don't want to hold up the ordinance, because if we hold up the ordinance, it means that we won't get our truck ordered until probably fourth quarter, maybe November, December of 2019. As we all know, it could take up to a year to build this vehicle, and right now, Elmwood Park needs a truck. I don't think there's any, I know one of the former chiefs is here from Truck 4, and I think he will agree with me. We can't really wait much longer for a new truck. So again, my suggestion would be is that we approve the ordinance as is, hold off on purchasing any mini pumper until the chiefs do have an opportunity to sit down and talk, and that's it. We can put the purchase order in for the truck as soon as it's available to go.
Councilman, the only thing on the agenda tonight is the bond part of it.
It's just the bond.
So we can definitely have a policy discussion as to what's next. I mean, I would think if we're going to respect the leadership of these departments, it would be on the chief to come back and say, hey, never mind, I don't
Agreed.
need this. But just to Mr. Pressler, I'm a little surprised because we had this in November, a packet, like an FYI here, we're going to ask for this in a few months. The chief and several of his other members of, I don't know, the department, the other chiefs or whatever, came in and gave their pitch. We had a first reading, now we have a second reading. I had newer firefighters that are maybe a few years in talking to me about this pumper 4 or 5 months ago. So where the disconnect is that you seem to have learned about this very recently, it seems to be like an issue with the department, because we're trying to be good to our volunteers. We have the structure of the fire department come in and say, we need this because we have Altair, because we have the sealed air building, because Riverfront's going to come in and do underground parking, and this would help us fight the fires more efficiently. Do you disagree with that concept?
Yes.
You disagree with that concept?
Yes, I
So by ordering this, it will not give the fire department an additional tool to keep residents safe?
I think that should be given to the chief, not I. Unless you want me to give you my honest opinion, you tell me.
Well, we want your honest opinion, and it was, we,
Never undermine Chief Sulik.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I don't want
agree.
to,
Chief Sulik's department.
I agree.
I've been chief of the department. I understand what,
No disrespect to you, Mr. President.
I agree.
I follow the chain of command.
I agree,
That should be done here.
I agree 1,000%. Okay, I was chief, and
I know you were a good chief.
I just, the whole thing was sort of put under the table to the department. All right, we have 2 fire companies that have voted against this, and it hasn't been brought up to the department. That's where the issue is. And whenever the officers of the individual companies brought it up, was just hush hush. So,
So-
Mayor, if I could speak on behalf of the council, I think what we'll do is introduce this tonight, ask Chief Sulik to come forward with his command staff, and vet this out again at another work session before we move forward.
When is the next department meeting? When is your
Next Thursday night.
next Thursday night?
Let's cancel tonight.
Okay, so if I may ask, will you be discussing this particular issue next Thursday night?
I surely will.
So by the time we have our next public session, the fire department should be able to work out the details, correct?
I would think so.
Okay, so again, my suggestion to the mayor and council would be is that we approve this ordinance as is, do nothing with the purchase orders of anything. In 30 days, they'll come back and give us a recommendation, and if it's no pumper or pump, I just don't want to hold up truck 4.
I
That's
agree
all I'm trying to do.
1,000%. Thank you.
Okay.
We can't.
It's on. It is on. Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, I can hear you right here.
Anybody else on this ordinance? May I have close the public hearing. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Ingui, Dombrowski, any discussion from the council? Okay.
I
Well,
think we discussed it. I think we discussed it.
as was noted, this is the second reading of the funding part. We can certainly wait for conversations to happen, but what I would advise the council is that what the recommendation of the current leadership of the fire department is in the end is what we should ultimately follow. Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Fasolo?
Abstain?
Ingui? Yes. Wetchler? Yes. Council President Pellegrin?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-219-19, introduced ordinance number 19-12 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough at Chapter 4 entitled Licensing and Businesses Regulations, so as to amend Section 4.6 entitled Hawkers, Peddlers, and Solicitors to include roadway charitable solicitation." And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 16, 2019, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough at Chapter 4 entitled Licensing and Businesses Regulation, so as to amend Section 4.6 entitled Hawkers, Peddlers, and Solicitors to include roadway charitable solicitation," pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Wetchler, Dombrowski, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone from the public like to speak on this ordinance, please come up and state your name and address for the record. Seeing none, I'd like to close. All in favor?
Aye.
Take a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Wetchler, Pellegrin, call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Fasolo?
Yes.
Ingui? Yes. Wetchler? Yes. Council President Pellegrin?
Yes.
Motion carries. We will now move on to a loan resolution for an appointment, Resolution R-220-19, Appointment of Conflict Counsel. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the appointment of Jonathan Testa Esquire as Conflict Counsel, term ending December 31st, 2019, and the same is hereby confirmed.
May I have a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Pellegrin, Dombrowski, call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary?
Yes.
Dombrowski?
Yes.
Fasolo?
Yes.
Ingui? Yes. Wetchler? Yes. Council President Pellegrin?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, for the consent agenda, we have R-221-19, approval of payroll, R-222-19, approval of bills list, R-223-19, appointment of firefighter Patrick Kobelaars, Company 1, R-224-19, appointment of firefighter Benito de la Cruz, Company 2, R-225-19, appointment of firefighter Adam Sandavi, Company 2, R-226-19, resignation of junior firefighter Gabriel Sims, Company 3, R-227-19, authorized current estimate number 2, 2018 Road Program 4 Cleanup, Inc., R-228-19, authorized current estimate number 3, 2018 Road Program 4 Cleanup, Inc., R-229-19, authorized current estimate number 1, Veterans Memorial Park, Zaccaro, Inc., R-230-19, authorize current estimate number 2 and final, Mola Boulevard, Section 10, Phase 2, Zaccaro, Inc. R-231-19, authorize engineer's estimate number 2, Recreation Center Emergency Generator, Manor 2 Electric, Inc. R-232-19, approval to submit grant application and execute grant contract with the NJDOT for the various streets improvement project. R-233-19, approval to submit grant application and execute grant contract with the NJDOT for the Broadway pedestrian improvements project. R-234-19, appointing municipal representatives to the Bergen County Community Development Regional Committee. R-235-19, corrective resolution, redeem third-party tax lien. R-236-19, redeem third-party tax lien. R-237-19, refund overpayments, New Jersey tax court judgments. R-238-19, cancel entries lost in cyber attack. R-239-19, refund overpayments by mortgage lenders. R-240-19, appoint ASP Counselor Roman Cruz Recreation Department. R-241-19, appointment of counselors for the 2019 Extended Care Program Recreation Department. R-242-19, renew liquor licenses for the 2019-2020 license term. R-243-19, authorize purchase of equipment for Borough Park. R-244-19, authorize execution of agreement Bergen Risk Managers, Inc. R-245-19, authorize the execution of service agreement Monmouth Telecom. R-246-19, authorize payment Darren Lazorchak Firewood and Logs LLC. R-247-19, authorize park and ride refund. R-248-19, approve additional date temporary sound recording operator, municipal court. R-249-19, rescind resolution R-420-18, resolution to rescind municipal code chapter 4-34 wreckers and towers. R-250-19, confirming the endorsement and authorization of Elmwood Park CDBG application submission for the rescope of the various roadway improvement project. R-251-19, approved block party requests, and R-252-19, approving consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Wetchler, Fasolo. Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary,
Yes.
Dombrowski,
Yes.
Fasolo,
235-19 and 249-19?
235 and 249.
Yes.
Thank you. Ingui,
Yes to everything, except I will recuse on 221-19.
Wetchler. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. For departmental report approval, we have Board of Recreation minutes April 15, 2019, and the Library Board minutes May 20th, 2019.
May I have a motion to accept and file the minutes?
So moved.
Ingui,
Second.
Dombrowski, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous consent?
Yes. Okay, last on my agenda this evening, we have the following applications. July 13, 2019, Social Affairs Permit, Elmwood Park Volunteer Fire Department, Defender Company Number 3, and August 24, 2019, 50/50 raffle, St. Leo's Church.
May I have a motion to approve the application?
So moved.
Second.
Balistrary, Fasolo. Call the roll, please.
Council members Balistrary.
Yes.
Dombrowski.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Ingui.
Yes.
Wetchler. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. That's all I have on the agenda this evening, Mayor.
Thank you. Council reports. Councilwoman Ingui.
Okay. Okay, my ambulance report.
I'm sorry, if I could, the council members who are not speaking right now, if you could turn your mic off, it helps the sound in general.
Right. Correct. I think you're
White.
I'm good. Mine's fine now. You sure? Now it's off completely? Really? Okay. Okay, so my ambulance report, for the month of May, the members of the ambulance corps answered 102 calls. 70 of them were duty calls and 32 general alerts. They participated in the drunk driving demonstration at the high school. They had both ambulances there and went over the dangers of driving or distracted driving from a medical aspect of it. This month, actually tomorrow, they'll have a standby crew at the graduation. And as always, they are looking for volunteers. The only other thing I have is I would like to congratulate the class of 2019. I know the children are looking forward to having the summer off after a lot of hard work, and so am I. So congratulations to the class of 2019. Progress.
Thank you. Councilman Nabrowski.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of May, our Elmwood Park Fire Department has responded to 40 alarms, totaling 611 man-hours. With 171 days into this year, our firefighters have responded to 360 calls. That's averaging over 2 calls per day. Some of the calls are calls for CO and smoke alarms going off. It's a simple reminder to please make sure that you have fresh batteries in your devices and that you replace them every 10 years. If anyone has any questions or concerns about fire safety, please contact our fire official, Steve Kuchik, at 201-796-1457 at extension 221. I'd like to welcome our 3 new firefighters, Patrick Kobalars, Benito De La Cruz, and Adam Setaway. Welcome to the Elmwood Park Fire Department, and thank you for your involvement. I'd also like to congratulate our 2019 middle school graduates and wish them well and success as they enter high school. And if anybody follows me on Facebook, you know my little buddy Jason Leader was not doing well for the last 3 weeks. For the past 4 days, Jason was placed into a medically induced coma so that doctors could remove an object from his lung. And also to recuperate. I can tell you that his recovery did not go very well. It was a very difficult time. But I am also very happy to tell you that as of 5:30 tonight, Jeff Leader, Dina Leader, Justin Leader, and Jordan Leader were joined by their brother at home tonight. And Jason and the family all have smiles, and I thank everybody out there who prayed for them. Jason is a very special young man. The Leader family has a very difficult time. And I can honestly tell you that I was there personally, and it was not easy for Jason. This young man has 100 lives, and I hope he has 110 more. Progress.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Balistrieri.
Okay, recreation. The summer camp begins on Monday. There's still space if you haven't registered yet. The first summer concert at the recreation field will be Thursday, July 11th at 7:30 p.m. Best of the Eagles will be performing. DPW has started the yellow line painting program on Market Street. They have begun with the yellow regulatory lines at the corners as well as the white lines dividing the street parking spaces on Market Street. DPW has also started cleaning weeds along Market Street streetscape. All 12 sections of hydrant flushing have been completed. The DPW added a main line and 3 sprinkler heads to the Veterans Monument because they found the grass towards the back was dying. It was not reaching the rear part of the monument park. As far as the softball field, clay has been added because of several puddles, so they've had an issue with that, so this now creates a better runoff of the water. Underpasses have been washed down once this past month. Elmwood Park Takes Action, stigma-free. Our Elmwood Park Takes Action stigma-free meeting was this past Tuesday in the all-purpose room. There was some discussion included that the crisis intervention team of Bergen County will be holding a Unity of the Community event on Sunday, June 30th from 11 to 4. This will be held at Overpeck County Park, Ridgefield Park area in Ridgefield Park. There will be entertainment, demonstration, resource information, food trucks, events for the children, and much more. It'll be a fun community event, so mark your calendars if you're interested. The green stigma-free line will be replaced soon on Mola Boulevard. It was covered up during the road paving. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, July 16th. And I also want to congratulate our middle school and high school on their graduation and enjoy their summer. Progress.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Wetchler.
Good evening, everyone. White one. Okay, sorry. Wednesday, June 26th, 7 o'clock in the Senior Center. The speaker this month will be Scott Carson, our DPW. The next bus run for the Sands Casino is Friday, June the 28th. It's leaving the rec department at 10 and returning at 7:30. The cost of that is $35. You get $35 back. If you're interested, please call Linda Calabini at 201-966-7694. If you can't make the June trip, we have a trip coming in July, on July 26th, too. I'd like to congratulate the class of 2019, the middle school tonight, and our seniors tomorrow. The library has been broken into this weekend, but there was no damage to the library portion of the hut. Cablevision was in and put the wiring in for the cables. Now we're waiting for Buckles to come in to hook up our computers. We're hoping that the hut will be open for the library in the middle of July. It will be announced following. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Fasolo.
I just want to congratulate the class of 2019. I've had the pleasure of teaching you and watching you grow for the last 4 years. I have no doubt you'll go on and do great things. We have artists, musicians, mathematicians, and scientists in our ranks in Elmwood Park. And I just want to send my sincere congrats to all of them. Other than that, progress.
Thank you, Councilman. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes, good evening, everyone. My Board of Health update. Their meeting was held on June 10th. Martha Sudek was there from the Bergen County Health Services. She discussed the many programs available through the county. Many of these programs are free to our residents. The Board of Health will be hosting an evening in the next couple months with speakers from the county to inform us all of the health services that can aid our residents. Time and date to be determined. Also, you can visit their website at www.bergenhealth.org. There is no public meeting for July and August, and their next meeting is September 9th at 7 p.m. Also, a lot of our residents are having problems with mosquitoes this year in their yards. There's a free service through the county. You can call 201-634-2880, and you can get your yard sprayed for free. I know people that had it done, and they were very happy with the service. Also, my police update. Street Smart kicked off its campaign in Elmwood Park at Gilbert Ave Elementary School on June 18th. Members of the New Jersey Transportation Planning Agency teamed up with New Jersey Devil Mascot, Gilbert Ave school staff, and Elmwood Park PD to host a Street Smart training session for the students. Students learned to walk responsibly in the street and cross only at the crosswalks. Street Smart New Jersey is a joint effort between public, private, and nonprofit organizations that aims to change pedestrian and motorist behaviors through education and enforcement. Also on June 18th, Gilbert Ave 5th grade classes graduated from Elmwood Park Police Department's LEAD training class. LEAD, Law Enforcement Against Drugs, is a proactive program in which police officers teach students about the dangers associated with drug and alcohol use. The program also enables officers to develop relationships with the children in our community, which is a big step in developing mutual trust. Our police department currently has 7 officers trained to teach this course. Also, our police department, on June 7th, Mayor Gullebeck swore in Chief of the Day, Michael Davis. It was really a special morning for Michael and his family. A big thank you to our police department for participating in Bergen County's annual Chief for a Day celebration. The smile on Michael's face was priceless. Our Junior Police Academy sign-ups. So far, we have 84 children signed up for the week of July 15th. That's ages 10 to 13, and excuse me?
Oh, I'm saying, wow, that's a lot of kids.
And on the week of July 22nd, ages 14 to 16, we have 22 children signed up. If anyone still wants to sign up their child, please call Detective Chris Liptak at 201-796-0700, extension 118. My Chamber of Commerce update. They had their special meeting on May 29th. Donna Spotto from the Bergen County Division of Economic Development was the guest speaker. Donna did a great job explaining to our businesses how to get resources to help aid them and help them thrive. She walked us through the division's website, pointed out interesting facts, and answered any questions our businesses had. Everyone there was very pleased with all the information that was shared. Information and contact numbers will be put on our borough's website for all our businesses to take advantage of. A special thank you to Donna Spotto and to the Elmwood Park Chamber of Commerce for hosting this special event. Council Corner, come join Councilwoman Balistrary and me at our next Council Corner meeting on Saturday, September 21st, 1 p.m. in the All-Purpose Room. Our guest speaker will be Chief Feligno. Come share your ideas, concerns about our community in an informal setting. Come be a part of the conversation. And lastly, I want to congratulate all our middle school students who graduated tonight. I wish you all good luck and much success in high school. For our senior class of 2019, who will be graduating tomorrow night, I wish you much success in your future, whether you're going on to college, trade school, or directly to work. Remember, always follow your passion, work hard, always believe you can do it because you can. Congratulations, class of 2019. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything for the public? Okay, thank you. Okay, just a few updates for the public. One thing we had to do tonight was switch up our community development grant. We initially awarded $190,000 for several roads to be paved. At some point, the federal government changed what areas were eligible, and that required us to kind of switch up our list. So initially, I reported that Lee Street between Spidell and Boulevard was going to be covered under this grant. It will no longer be. It'll be rolled into our 2019 road program. So basically, our 2019 CDBG application, that whole project went from being a portion of Lee Street and a portion of Donor to being Donor, Real, Meyer Street in front of the Victoria, and Struley Court, Roth, and Echo between Herman and Henry. Again, the grant is about $190,000. The total paving work may be around $300 and $300 and change. So what the lowest qualified bidder is, we apply the grant towards those streets because they're all in the eligible areas, and we cover the rest. We wanted to Cherry Hill was a new area that was included as an eligible area, so we thought it would make sense to keep the streets within proximity to one another. Probably brings costs down and gets us more bang for our buck. We also passed tonight the authorization to enter into a contract with Monmouth Telecom. That's a switching over of our phone systems to a different provider. It may not seem like a lot, but it'll be a $12,000 a year savings. Anytime we can save $12,000 here, $20,000 here, it gives us opportunities to spend that money in other places or save it and do better on the taxes in the following year. There will be a borough newsletter sometime in mid-July. It's something that I've started, and I encourage my colleagues and any residents, if you think there's anything out there that should be in this year's edition, to bring it to my attention. I'm already at 8 pages, so we may have to do it in 2 parts, but that means we're working on a lot, and that means there's a lot of good news to share with the community. And last but not least, I'd like to thank our DPW and our Director Scott Cars. If you've noticed, on the southern side of Market Street, they've started painting parking stalls. And this is something we originally, I think last year, were about to contract with a company for. And then the DPW director came up with a plan to do it in-house, take over the entire line painting concept. So we have that. That'll be the stalls, weather permitting. It's been raining all week, so they couldn't finish. Will be all the way from this part of Market Street, City Hall, or I guess by Blue 42 and Ciro's, all the way down to the CVS on both sides. So the idea is in the areas where there's there's a crunch for parking, that it may add a spot or two and kind of make it more orderly. Right now we don't have anything on the books to enforce that from a law enforcement standpoint, but that's something that we're going to address to give it teeth so that people who disregard it can be penalized for not being willing to play nice. The other thing with this program is traditionally we've done yellow curbs to indicate where you cannot park. Along Market Street, around City Hall, around some key areas, our DPW director has instead started yellow cutouts that get the same kind of point across, but don't leave that glaring yellow curb that a lot of people complain about. So we're trying those things. Sometimes it's the little things that matter. It's the little things that we do that don't cost a lot, but make life just a little easier for our residents and for our business owners. Again, I also want to wish our graduates all the best, middle schoolers, high schoolers, Elmwood Park, and those that go elsewhere, all the best. And with that, I'd like to take a motion to open it to the public for any comment.
So move.
Fasolo, Ingwe, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wishing, willing to speak on any subject, please come up, state your name for the record. Yeah.
And Chief, listen to this, please. There's a palm in town now. We got dumping palms. People just dumping tires in your yard. In your yard, in the city hall parking lot, there's a tire sitting there. And I told the chief today, the guy that was working today about 12 o'clock, he left about 12 o'clock, and I was there outside, and I saw him. I said, look, there's a tire sitting on the parking lot, on the side of the parking lot, on the grass. And they leave it there. And it's been there for almost a week. And Mayor and Councilman, got a question. Are you gonna put little lines on our local street too? For the parking?
For parking?
Yes.
I don't believe so. No.
Because, you know why?
Mr. Raby, are you asking about parking stalls, or are you asking about yellow lines?
Yellow line.
Okay.
Because the reason I'm saying that, on the corner of my house, there's a yellow curb, goes towards, almost halfway down on my street, and it says do not park, it says no parking. But now, you put the lines on, it looks nice if you do that, because people still park there all the time, on the corner.
Right, so regardless of how, in the end, whether we do cutouts for the whole town, or the idea in general is, whether it's the yellow cutout or the yellow curbs,
Yeah.
to do it the whole town once a year, kind of like get it looking nice and crisp. But whether it's the cutout or the yellow curb, it's still going to have the same effect. People won't be able to park. So whichever one we do, it'll still be wrong. And if people park, I'd encourage you to just call the desk and they'll look into it right away, or come see the desk.
Because I'm just saying to you, because there's a tree.
Right.
It's on my parking, on my side, and it's where they say no parking, and that's where the tree is, and that's where everyone likes to park into that tree, and
Right.
one of these days, someone's gonna hit that tree, I'm saying.
Right.
Because it's so close to the curb, and I'm afraid it's gonna fall.
But is it currently in a yellow zone?
Yes.
Well, then people shouldn't park there. And if they,
Right.
and if you
But
see
there
it,
people do park.
but if you see it, call it in.
Especially during the night, during the summertime, or like in the nighttime, and especially when it's like Saturday and Sunday nights, that parking space is always full.
We'll keep an eye on it, but when you see it, just please call the desk so we can approve it.
Yeah, because it always gets full, that corner there, because they don't have no room to park
Mhm.
anywhere. And they just like to park in the corner, and that I know it's yellow tub. And I asked a question. The other day, it was strange. There was no sign for no parking, right? And the girl, the lady left the car there for overnight, and then the next morning I saw the cop give a ticket. On Local Street, right in front of my house. And there's no curb, there's no yellow curb there.
Give it a ticket?
Yeah?
Could have been for anything, could have been a registration, it could have been an equipment violation. I don't know what the ticket was for.
I don't know either, but I thought maybe for parking, because I said that's legal. But,
Could have been a variety of situations where you get a ticket for something else.
Yeah.
A different violation other than parking.
yeah, maybe, that could be, I don't know. But I'm just saying to you that it's strange things that are going on with the town that needs to be looked at, I think. Because if you want to have a junky town, like I see, it's gonna be more tires, more garbage all over the place. You want that? That's what I see.
Well, we're certainly working hard on any issue that comes up, and, every time you talk, we write it down and we try to address it.
I know,
We're
but
looking to
I'm
make
just
everyone's
saying to
life
you,
better.
I don't want to be like Patterson, like a junkyard. If you see, it's gonna be a lot of things. People just jump things out. I seen the other day, I was outside. I saw a guy throwing a bottle outside and a box outside in the front of my house.
Mm-hmm.
That's another junk. I mean, really, people just throw stuff out the window, and you want that,
We don't.
right?
Absolutely not.
No, I watch everything I see all the time, and I watch things, and I see things like that, and I say,
And I'm sure if a police officer or if somebody records it or anything, we would deal with it very swiftly because it's unacceptable and no town wants that.
right? But I'm just saying, I don't want
People are
that.
people, and unfortunately, people will do that here. They'll do it in any town if they feel bold enough, and it's unfortunate, but
But I'm just
that's
saying
people.
to you, I don't want the town to get bad, look bad, and it doesn't look good on us. Because the way you look like, we got a junkie town.
Thank
You know what I
you.
mean?
Thank you, sir.
I'm telling the truth, people, guys. I'm just saying to you, it's the truth. I will live here, and if we see all junkies coming in and everything, it looks terrible.
Thank you, Mr. Arabia. We'll work on it. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public? Joe, can you turn the AC off? He said he can't hear.
I speak in a loud voice, so I think I'll be okay. Jane Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive. Just a couple of questions. The cover over the generator on the boulevard, what was the cost of that? Do you have any idea?
Mr. Administrator, do you have that on top of your head?
Okay. I'm just wondering what it cost.
Cheaper than moving the generator.
Okay, which I know you said was gonna be $40,000. Okay, the only problem is, the town will get used to it, I'm sure, the way it looks. But when you look straight on at it, the fence at the top is crooked. In the north corner, if you look at the bar at the top, and it's been that way since the fence was put up, it is not level. That needs to be fixed, so I hope you haven't paid for it yet.
How much off is it?
Well, if I can see it, anybody can see it. You just have to look straight at it. It's like this, it's on an angle.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the wall.
I don't know how much,
Okay.
but if you look at.
No, we'll look into it, sure.
And I think if we're paying a sizable amount to have this fence put up, which has been there for a while, it needs to be fixed. I saw it the first day.
Mhm.
but I haven't been
We'll look
there
into that,
since
sure,
about it, 'cause
absolutely.
I figured somebody would see it. Mosquito jungle, I brought that up many times. It's raining today, I didn't go there and check. Has anything been looked into with that?
It's sprayed by mosquito control.
Okay, is the water still lying there?
I'll speak to Mr. Cars about it.
Okay, because that's unsightly, when you come down 46 or you turn on the street, it's disgusting. I had also brought up an issue of possibly having some recycling bins, maybe at the DPW, particularly when we have long weekends. Memorial Day came, and that's a Monday, that's my day. I'm able to keep mine until Saturday, but we do have a lot of neighbors who have a lot more cans than I do. And some people don't know that that's not gonna be a recycling day, they're in the street. So I just wish that we had a place that we could put some.
Yeah.
Yes,
He indicated that he doesn't have the manpower to supervise that, and he doesn't have the room for the bins. And another reason why they wouldn't be allowed to have the bins there.
We-
Had in the past, and they decided that it's not a good fit for the town.
Yes, Mrs. Freitag, we did ask him at the department head meeting, because you brought it up at council corner, and we did follow up on it, and exactly what the chief had said. Scott said he
talking
didn't,
about not supervising, I can.
he didn't have the room. He didn't have the room, he said.
Nobody supervises that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of equipment down there that
He
can't
said they
be.
didn't have the room. That was the main issue.
Right. And Ms. Freitag, if a.
I'm not talking about a 40-year-old.
No, I understand what you're saying, but if a holiday falls on a Monday when it's your recycling day, that recycling is picked up the following
I
Saturday.
know that. I'm living
Okay.
here over 40 years. I know this.
Okay.
But I'm saying that I know enough to keep mine in the back until Saturday. Unfortunately, I
Right.
don't have that many that's an issue generally for me. But there are some people in my neighborhood who have large families, and they have a lot of cans, and they have no place to put them. And then when Saturday comes, they have 3, 4, 5, 6 barrels out there.
Right.
And it's more difficult for the people that are picking it up as well.
Mrs. Freitag?
Yes.
I also spoke with Scott Cars about that, and besides the fact of the space, when we had it years ago, because I do remember as well, when it was there years ago,
Yes, I
they were just thrown all over. People would come and it would be dumped all over the place. He said it was such a
Well,
mess, they didn't,
They
that's,
can do it in Paramus. I've been in a number of Paramus. I do a lot of things from her house when she was moving. Not only they had one man there supervising, and they had different bins for all different things. Not only was it, we were able to put stuff there, they even helped us. Put the metal in here, put the glass in there, and it was kept neat. and it was wide open. I don't understand why we can't do something like that. That's just my personal opinion. And
Can
think it
can
would
I
help
say
the
one more
town look
thing?
cleaner, too.
I'd like to say one more thing. Scott Cars is going to be at the next homeowners meeting next week. He's going to be the guest speaker, so I know you always go. That would be the perfect opportunity.
The library, I was not able to attend the last library meeting. Who's currently the library director? Okay. The other woman has left? Okay. Has there been any progress on the tennis courts?
Well, we're awaiting a bid from a contractor, as well as we'll be in direct conversation with the one bidder that was rejected. So we hope by sometime midweek next week to have both, I guess, the bid we rejected, their bottom number, and then another contractor, and then make a decision from there.
So you're in discussion with
Correct.
someone at this time?
Yes.
Broken curbs, I know this has been brought up many times. Whose responsibility is it to fix broken curbs? I don't have a broken curb. I'm just asking in general.
Our ordinance is it's the requirement of the homeowner.
Okay.
Same as your sidewalks.
Now, if somebody moves in to a home, does the C of O require that they look at that? For instance, someone in our neighborhood bought a house, the curb's been broken, they're in there about a year or so, and it was broken when the man moved in. They painted the yellow there because it's on a corner. They were right over the grass with the paint.
Right.
And the non-existent curb, okay? Yellow curbs. Many people are parking the yellow curbs, just like Kenny said. If you go around, I think they may have just painted, right around the corner from Francesca's, and people aren't just running in to get a pizza. There are people that park there, and then they walk down the street or whatever. I can't be calling the police all the time. It isn't a life or death thing. I just want to say that it does happen. That's one place I've observed it. Also, equipment from public service. They have many trucks. They park them everywhere. In fact, we went down Tuella last night. You can barely get through. It's narrow there anyway, on the end, almost down to Hillman. They had trucks on both sides. Somebody was coming one way, we were coming the other way. Fortunately, we saw them, and they saw us. But maybe somebody should speak to them about their equipment. I don't know why they need to leave it in the middle of the street. Not when it's dark out. They leave it there every night. They leave 3, 4, 5 trucks, a porta toilet, everything right in front of people's houses.
I didn't hear you. They leave it there every night.
Okay, phone call would help, right? We need the eyes and ears of the community.
But your officers do patrol those streets,
And
too.
they're working with them.
All right, one at a time. It's under.
They may, but it's a hindrance sometimes, because, like, for instance, there it's narrow. Okay, so I'm just.
Mrs. Freitag, if you observe that, the most efficient way for everyone in the neighborhood is if email me, call City Hall as soon as you observe it, and then we'll deal with it if we have to.
And it is a
I'm
concern.
just reporting it. I mean, I don't want to be the crappy old lady who's calling the police.
No, but we'd rather get it, if there's a problem, rather get it addressed as soon as possible, and not, at the next, after the council meeting.
And a bigger issue is if you can't get your car through there, or you have a difficult time getting your car through there, we're never going to get a fire truck or an ambulance through there.
Very difficult.
So if you wouldn't mind making a call to the desk, let them know, and it will be taken care of.
I will do that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Anybody else from the public?